Hey people, it is Friday, October the 6th. The time is 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and it is currently 21 Celsius, feeling a bit more like 23 Celsius with the very slight humidex today. Much more comfortable walking conditions than we've had the last few days before. And I am on Spadina, or Lower Spadina Avenue to be exact, just heading over the rail corridor. And it is rush hour here. It's always a bit of a traffic nightmare on this part of Lower Spadina heading towards the Gardiner Expressway. And these new buildings are really starting to stand out now. The tallest buildings in the City Place development, which we're just about to enter here. I thought I'd walk us along part of the linear park, running along the northern edge of City Place, and then we'd head through part of the neighborhood and eventually end up on the Bathurst Bridge and continuing on onto Portland Street from there. So here's another look at the rail corridor without the sun glaring directly into the lens. And this is the linear park, as I mentioned. And it does continue on that way as well, going past the Sky Dome to the CN Tower. And the sun is getting low in the sky already at this time these days. As a result, the lighting conditions are not the greatest when I'm walking west at this time of day. But I'll eventually be heading south to get some better lighting, so hopefully this won't be too murky looking. You'll see if I just turn the camera in the other direction, the light improves considerably. And a massive redevelopment is planned to be built on top of part of the rail corridor here. As you can see, upwards of like what looks to be like almost a dozen new towers, up to 70 stories in height. I think the original plan was something called Rail Deck Park, which was much larger in scope. It has been downsized. Let me try to avoid the sun as much as I can. It's about to peek out from behind the buildings up ahead. Get a good view of the Portland Commons project here, which is topped out now. And the Well, enormous new residential and commercial complex, with including a major shopping center and office tower. I heard through the grapevine that the new shopping center at the Well might have its grand opening in November. if that's the case, I'll certainly be there, if not on that day, soon after, to go inside and do a proper video of the new Well Shopping Center. It's a pretty awesome space from what I've seen of it so far. I have explored a bit of it already in a previous video. And I can't avoid the sun now. I hear a train coming in. Two trains actually. We got a GO train and an Up Express train. And you can see how much longer the GO train is than the Up Express train. Some of the Up Express trains are 3 cars long though. That one only seemed to be 2 cars long. Looking down into the City Place neighborhood. And another train going by. But 2 racing GO trains. I imagine one is on the Lakeshore West line and the other one is on the Kitchener line. Another one. It is rush hour, so the trains are running at very high frequencies now. Alright, so we're at the end of the linear park, so I can finally stop walking directly into the sun. And we did have some rain earlier, even though it wasn't really in the forecast, which isn't surprising. All right, let's head south into City Place.
And then I'll oh shit, I forgot to tell your brother.
So I thought I'd walk along a couple of City Place streets that I've never really explored much in previous videos through the area. I tend to stay here on Fort York Boulevard when I do walk through City Place. So let's avoid Fort York Boulevard this time. There used to be an awesome view of the CN Tower from here, but those new towers are blocking out all but the very top of the spire. No views in Toronto last for long. Something you have to accept, especially if you're buying a condo with an awesome view. Don't expect that view to be there forever. But the tower reasserts itself here. Maybe that view will last. Housey Street and the Gardiner Expressway running alongside. See, there's a TD Bank branch underneath the expressway here. It's a good way to make use of space. I'm not a fan of bank branches in urban neighborhoods, but if you can hide one underneath an expressway, I have no complaints. I'd rather have it there than fronting onto the sidewalk along a regular city street. And an LCBO branch also, and a Starbucks over here. I don't think I've shown any of these in my previous videos. And what's this little place over here? It's another business. Let's go take a closer look. As we have the major development just over here on the other side, fronting onto Lakeshore Boulevard, with a large Loblaws store, but I can see there's also a Shoppers Drug Mart on this side. Bone and Biscuit Company, whatever that is. Bentway Dental, because underneath the Gardiner for a stretch is referred to as the Bentway. I'm not sure what this is called. I don't see a sign. At least not in English, anyway. But here's the LCBO. And the Starbucks. Well, first time for everything. I've walked past here dozens of times, I think, in previous videos, but never bothered to explore that little area. I'm kind of glad I did. So the Bentway continues across Bathurst Street. Maybe I'll just run across if I can. Will I get the chance before the traffic comes down the other way? Either people drive like maniacs, or they drive so slow. It's always one extreme or the other. So here's the Bentway. You can walk along here all the way over to Strawn Avenue near Liberty Village. I think there are some gaps along the way though. So there's the large Loblaws. Alright, let's take a walk along here. So we're in the Fort York neighborhood now after having crossed Bathurst. It's really an extension of City Place, except the towers tend to be shorter. But it's much the same in look and feel to City Place. Maybe a little bit less retail. City Place is actually pretty good in terms of restaurants and shops and even a couple of grocery stores. Of course, that Loblaws is right over there for residents living here. And we'll get another look at part of the Bentway. Further to the west, there's an area where in the wintertime there's a skating rink under the Gardiner along the Bentway. And this grassy expanse across the street is Fort York, a historic site. Dates back to the late 1700s when Toronto was just being founded as the town of York. back at Bathurst. So let's walk over the Bathurst Bridge. The view is better from the other side. You can see the top of one of the buildings at Fort York peeking up, just right straight ahead there. And back over the rail corridor. And this is where you could get an awesome view of the financial district in years past, but as I mentioned earlier, the views don't last forever, and you can just make out First Canadian Place and Scotia Plaza. But all the new towers at the Well have blocked out everything north of that part of the financial district. But you do get a good view of the new TD Terrace office tower. And you can see the top of the Brookfield Place office tower with the TD sign. There's more than one TD building in downtown Toronto. There's also the TD Centre. You can still get an awesome view of the tower, but we saw those plans back there of the 12 new towers that will be built over the rail corridor here, so pretty soon this entire view will be blocked out by those towers, or not pretty soon, but sometime in the not too distant future, maybe the next 10 years. One last look. And there's the stacked market across the street. It's a market made up of shipping containers. I have walked through there before, but not recently. Maybe I'll come back just to do a special stacked market video while the weather's still fairly warm. And now let's head up to Portland Street, and I'll take a walk north along Portland Street. Alright, so now I'll get an up-close look at the new Portland Commons complex. I think it's an office and commercial complex with retail. Heading north on Portland now. Toronto Hydroelectric System. I wonder how old this building is. And here's where Niagara Street begins. This is an interesting street in its own right. Sort of winding through the west side. Doesn't follow the street grid. I think this is Victoria Memorial Park or something along those lines. Let's look down Wellington Street. The Well, right over there, is named after Wellington Street. And the new bike lane. It's one of the better new protected bike lanes I've seen go up in the city recently. So Portland Street is known for its nightlife, especially right up ahead at King. And apparently it's a bit of a party spot in the middle of the day also, although I guess it is a bit late now on a Friday, or getting late. If you come here around 11 o'clock at night tonight, this intersection will be packed with people enjoying the nightlife. This stretch of King Street is lined with clubs and restaurants, and Portland also for a few blocks running north or south of here.
There's been a couple places out there. I mean, we're just going to be hanging. I think we're going to be
And like any popular street, the condos have been transforming Portland over the last several years. Most of them are mid-rise residential towers. But some old things are still around from days gone by, such as Lucy over here. She's been a part of the neighborhood as long as I've been living in Toronto. And she's been defaced a few times, but she always gets repaired. I don't know why anyone would try to vandalize Lucy. Some nice little places all along here. Petty Cash Social House. And this is one of the new mid-rise buildings. And we're at Adelaide Street. Well, I'm just going to cross. Everyone else seems to be having the same idea. Not sure what this big crowd is across the street. And there are still some old townhomes here. I think it's a school of some sort here. But you can see this old row of townhomes is all boarded up, awaiting redevelopment. I think another mid-rise building will be constructed there. And here's another mid-rise here, nearing completion. We're at Richmond Street. And Portland Street is not a very long street. It ends right up ahead here at Queen Street West. So usually if I do want to do a video of Portland Street, I have to sort of incorporate it into another walk and combine them together. Otherwise, it wouldn't be a very long video if it was only Portland Street.
Got it. Okay.
But here we are at Queen Street West. So I'm going to start to wrap up the video. So I hope you enjoyed the walk where we started at City Place and walked along some streets I don't usually walk along, and then we discovered those cool shops under the Gardiner Expressway as part of the Bentway under the Gardiner. And we wound our way over through the Fort York area, over the Bathurst Bridge, and back up to Front in Portland and north, taking us back up to Queen and Portland here. So leave a comment down below if you enjoyed the walk. And be sure to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. And also be sure to hit the notification bell. That way you won't miss any of my videos. If you'd like to support the channel, there are links in the description where you can do so via PayPal, as well as via my merch store. Or you can also become a channel member. And you can also support the channel through a super thanks if you prefer to do it that way. I'm also on Instagram under KContinuum. So thanks for watching. And thanks to all the channel members, and be sure to keep checking back because, as always, I will continue.